If you have a passion for being outdoors, like to mix new technology with old-fashioned flying, then the remote-controlled airplane group is right for you.
Remember as a kid, in third and fourth grade, looking through science books and looking at airplanes and how jet engines work and the like. So it's just always been something that I was interested in. And I think you find that from a lot of members, that they've always kind of had a love for aviation. It's a group spread out way across the country. There's maybe not a lot of folks in an area. So if you ever look at, this is my first experience for like forums and things like that. There's several big, online communities where people go and ask questions, and you can see that they become very good friends on the forums. But the biggest impact that we've had actually has been Doug Leslie with Tailwinds Hobby Shop. Because how would somebody new that had always had an interest in aviation and think, gosh, that'd be cool someday, where would you go? You would know either you had a friend, or maybe there was an active club in town, or there was a good hobby shop.
I put the shop in 3 years ago in May. The hobby is one I've always enjoyed ever since I was a kid, and just got re-involved with the hobby back in 1990. We have a full range of radio control airplanes, helicopters, and some boats. We have the parts and supplies necessary to keep them flying. We have a computer flight program, flight simulators that are very helpful in getting people familiar with the airplane, how the controls and the airplane responds to the controls. Also, it's very helpful with the orientation of the airplane. One of the difficult things about learning to fly is the orientation. The plane seems to fly differently coming at you than going away from you. This is a pretty typical 2.4 gigahertz transmitter radio that we use for flying the airplanes, whether they're electric powered or fuel powered airplanes. The left stick is basically the throttle function. You push up to go faster in the airplane, make the engine run faster, and it's also the rudder and ground steering function for the airplane. And the right stick operates the ailerons, which are the wing controls that bank the airplane. It operates the elevator on the rear of the plane to pull down to go up. It's kind of counterintuitive.
My brother and I were always interested in airplanes. I remember I had an uncle who had an airplane, and we just always sat back and watched him fly. And then both of us flew control line airplanes, and I've always been in it in some fashion or another. My brother's always, he never flew radio control, but he's flown full scale. I got in I have a full scale aerobatic airplane now, but I like the radio control too, because the radio control, I can fly a lot of different kind of airplanes. Plus in some ways it's more challenging to fly RC.
I've always been interested in it. Had some remote control cars and things that I built when I was a kid and in school, and had been thinking about getting into it for a while, and found out that one of my friends had a plane, and I went and bought a plane and started flying.
We have picked up a lot of new members within the 3 years I've been back into this sport. We've had a lot of new members. A lot of people are technically inclined, like the radio, like airplanes. They get into it, and it's just a great sport. I mean, it gets you out here on a nice day like this.
Our youngest member is a second grader, so that puts him at 7. Our oldest member is 82, and so it's something that all ages can do. So much easier now to get into radio-controlled flying than in the past. I mean, since I was a kid, I would buy a magazine every once in a while and look at them, but it was always too complicated and expensive to do.
A lot of things have changed since I first started. When I first started, you'd have to build your own airplanes from a kit, which was basically a box of balsa wood sticks with plans, and you'd have to put together and cover it and do everything else. Now, what's changed, which makes it so much nicer, is that most of the airplanes come as what we call ARFs. That means almost ready to fly. and the kits are actually built in China, and they come covered. They're come built and they're already covered, and all you have to do is put the electronics in them, put the servos in them, and put the motor in them, and you're ready to fly. Another large change over the years has been the introduction of electric-powered airplanes. Used to be that they didn't have much power because the battery's so bad or so poor. And now we have LiPo batteries, which have so much energy in them, and they're so efficient that you can actually fly and fly for a long time. They're very powerful, you know, and they're very clean, very easy to fly an electric airplane.
If anybody's interested in it, you know, hopefully that they can come out, find a club. You know, you can Google it. There's also our association is the Association of Model Aviation, which is over in Indiana. They've got lists of all clubs. You know, put in a zip code and it'll show you the closest club. So just come out and look at it, see if you like it. It's really neat. Most folks that come out, you know, think, wow, I'd love to do that. And that's your best way. You know, you'll meet people that will certainly willing to help you. Usually fabulous club members, you know, with training things. So as long as somebody likes to do it, and you know, they should come out and give it a look, because they'll be able to find the type of an airplane that they, you know, that they've always dreamed of.
It's just a very fun sport for me, and I'm not sure why I like it so much, to tell the truth.
The only thing you need is just the love of flying, and that's all you need, and you can do it.